Hey everybody, it's Alan, shortballedandbearded.com. So today we're going to make a keto pie crust. It's really simple, takes just a few minutes. It's great for making different desserts. You can make cheesecakes and pies, a lot of different fillings that are really easy to make. Some of them are no bake, a lot of them are no bake. Hopefully do a few videos of those as we go along. Just kind of building different ways to use this recipe. So about a cup and a half of almonds, 4 tablespoons of butter, an egg, and of course pie pan. So first off, you're going to take your cup and a half of almonds. Now you can either use a cup and a half of fresh roasted almonds, or you can use a cup and a half of almond flour. Personally, I don't like almond flour that much. A lot of the time it's already blanched, which means that the little brown skin on them is all gone. That's where a lot of your fiber and your nutrients are in your almonds. So I usually like to use the skin-on roasted almonds to make my almond crust base. So you're just going to basically take the cup and a half of almonds and you're going to put them into your food processor and chop them down real fine. And then from there we're going to add a butter. And then from there we're going to add the half a stick of butter. We're going to melt that a little bit in the microwave to make it softer and easier. Then we're just going to add the egg into it. We're going to mix it all in a bowl and mash it into our pie pan. Once we mash it into the pie pan, we bake it for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And then we let it cool. And then you have your base pie shell. So enjoy. Now, one thing you do want to be aware of as you chop your almonds up in your food processor, if this is the route you decide to go, if you chop them too much, you're going to make almond butter. So you want to be careful to leave them a little bit coarse. It's not going to be as fine as a flour, but you can get them pretty close. So just keep that in mind. Keep an eye on it. If you start seeing it get a little bit wet, you need to go ahead and throttle back and just go ahead and use what you got. Let's see what we got. You can see that's pretty fine. Doesn't look bad at all. Okay, and our butter should be melted in the microwave. Melted butter there. Go ahead and put our egg in. Now, some people like to put a little bit of vanilla in here too. There's no problem with that. If you want to add a little bit more to it, you can put some vanilla in. You can put a little bit of sweetener, Splenda, or whatever other sweetener you decide to use. Not sugar. We all know sugar is bad, very bad for us on so many levels. Okay, so go ahead and whip the egg and the butter together now. Then we'll start just adding our almonds in. I generally won't put them all in at one time. I'll put a few of them in to get that good and wet, because that's really all you need. You really need to get them really damp because you're going to need them to stick together pretty good. So we get that. And then we'll add a few more in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the rest of our almonds mixed up now. Get this all nice and wet, and then after we get it nice and wet, we're going to put it back into our pie pan and bake it. You're really going to end up with a great texture from this crust. It's very similar to a graham cracker style, without all the extra carbs. And the almonds have a nice flavor. They're not really strong and overpowering, but they do add a little depth to it. Makes it a great base. Okay, see, we've got it nice and wet all through. Now we're just going to put it in our pie pan. Now it is going to be a little bit sticky, so it's going to be a little tricky to work with, but once you get it down pretty good, You do this a time or two, it comes a lot easier to you. And I guarantee you do this once or twice, you're going to be doing it a lot more often. This is a great way to make a dessert that's keto friendly, keep you on the straight and narrow, and curve a little bit of a sweet tooth too, some really rich foods. Especially if you got the holidays coming up, it's a great recipe for that. You want to make this pretty consistent in thickness all the way across. You don't want to make this too thick in any one particular place because it will get pretty crunchy, which if that's what you're going for, great. But I've just found that a cup and a half of almonds usually will get this about the right thickness and fill the pan pretty nicely too. You can always add a little more, or if it's a little bit dry and you're having trouble getting it to go together, you can always add a little more butter. Don't really recommend adding another egg because it might make it just a little bit too eggy. And we don't really want the egg texture to come through. We really want this to crisp up a little bit. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to put a few holes in here just in case as it cooks. We don't want it to bubble up in the center. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Get a good shot of that. Alright, now we're just going to throw this in the oven. Let it warm up, toast up. Then we'll show you what we got, and we'll let it cool. And then we'll maybe make a yummy filling for this. Alright,